So for our first equation, we have a slope of 4/1. My y-intercept is 1. Is that line going to be solid or dashed? Solid. And am I going to shade above or below? It says greater than above. So let's go ahead and do that. Take a minute and graph that. And then you're going to shade above. So that would be all of this area. So pick up your color pencil, crayon, shade this entire area above. And you don't have to shade it super dark. It can be a light-handed shade. For our second one, our slope is 1/1 because there's an invisible 1, so we're going to write that as a fraction. Our y-intercept is -2. This boundary line, is it solid or dashed? This one is dashed, good. And where am I going to shade? Above again. So go ahead, take a minute and do that. Pick up your second crayon. And then I'm going to shade above again. And I'm shading every part above the blue. And that's what it should look like. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to our note packet. And let's talk about substitution today. Substitution. So we're going to go to page 16. So we're going to solve using substitution today. The substitution method. So go to page 16 in your note packet. And when you do the substitution method, one of the equations has to be solved for a variable. So do you see how this says y equals 5x minus 3? I want you to circle that 5x minus 3. Circle this 5x minus 3. And now I'm going to do is substitute that in my second equation where there is a y. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. So it's 3x minus 2 Here, let me back up. That's a little too thick. All right, so it's 3x minus 2, put a parentheses for the y equals negative 8. So what I just did was I took that second equation that said 3x minus 2y equals negative 8, and instead of y, I put parentheses. Now, inside of the parentheses, I want you to write 5x minus 3. And now we have to solve this equation. Solving was a struggle for us on that last quest. We got another quest next week. So I'm going to go through really slow how to solve for x. So step number 1 is to multiply what's inside of the parentheses by negative 2. So pick up your calculator. You're going to take negative 2 times 5 and then negative 2 times negative 3. So the biggest mistake was a lot of students, they did this on the test. And that's where it just went left, and I had to just take off all the points. Why is that wrong? Why don't I add 10x to 3x? They're on the same side of the equal sign. They're on the same side of the equal sign, so we just need to add these together. So you're going to take 3 plus negative 10. Which gives you negative 7x plus 6 equals negative 8. Now we're going to subtract the 6. Negative 7x equals negative 14. Divide both sides by negative 7. So you should get x equals 2. But that's only half of my solution. Now I need to find y. So to find y, substitute that 2 in for x in this equation. So that would be, that would be y equals 5x minus 3. So you're going to take your calculator. Y equals 5 times 2, because we just figured out that x is actually 2 minus 3. Pick up your calculator, type that in, and then write your solution as an ordered pair. This is the substitution method. The substitution method, you take one and put it into the other. We substitute. It's like a recipe. Like if I didn't have oil, I would substitute applesauce. And people say you can substitute applesauce for oil. Or if I don't have whatever I don't have, I'm substituting it for something else. So that would be 10 minus 3. So who got 7? So would you write your solution as 2, 7 or 7, 2? Which number comes first in the ordered pair? 2, 7. And that would be your solution. This is the substitution method. So we started off by graphing. If we were to graph these two lines, they would intersect at 2, 7. But instead of graphing it, we're using another method to figure out where they would intersect. All right, so we're going to do a couple more. Let's go ahead and look at the same page. Let's look at this next one. We're going to do substitution. So do you see how this says y equals? I'm going to substitute 5x minus 10 in for y. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking that and putting that green package in my second equation where there's a y. So I have 2x plus 2 parentheses equals 124. Now inside of the parentheses, put your 5x minus 10. I want you all to distribute and try to solve for x. Distribute the positive 2 and try to solve for x. So I multiply by 2. 2 times 5x is 10x, and 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. And then I added these two together. 2x plus 10x is 12x. So now what do I need to do with that negative 20? Add the 20. And then your last step to get rid of the 12 that's being multiplied by x is to divide by 12. So x equals 144 divided by 12. Go ahead, type that in your calculator. You should get 12. Who got 12 for x? All right, good. So now you need to find y. So I want you to find y by substituting 12 in this equation. So y equals 5 times 12 minus 10. So I'm going to take this 12 and substitute it into this top equation. So put the 12 right here. So y equals 5 times 12 minus 10. And that should be 6. Nope, it should be 50. Make sure though. Make sure it's 50. So you would write your solution as 1250. All right, let's look at number 2. Let me see something. Let's look at number 3 actually. Let's go. Let's skip to number 3. So for question 3, notice it's x equals, not a y equals. This time it's an x equal. So I'm going to take this x equals right here. X equals 4x minus 1. I want you to put that right here where x is. So rewrite this equation. Put a parentheses where there is an x. So you're going to write it as 2 parentheses plus 2y equals 3. And then inside of the parentheses, put that 4y minus 1. Go ahead and distribute the 2. Combine your like terms, solve it for y. So this time we're going to find y first. And you're going to get a decimal. So don't think you're wrong. It is actually a decimal. Raise your hand when you get y, and I'll see if it matches what I got. Good. Most of you all got 0.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and show my work. So I substituted in 4y minus 1. When you distribute, you get 8y minus 2 plus 2y equals 3. Combine your like terms, which would be the 8y and the 2y. That's how I got 10y. And then I added the 2 divided by 10, so I got y equals 0.5. So now you need to find your x. X equals 4 times y minus 1. So type that in your calculator. Take 4 multiplied by 0.5 minus 1. So I know half of 4 is 2. And 2 minus 1 is positive 1. So you should get x equals positive 1. Who got x equals positive 1? I think I looked at somebody. Somebody had a negative 2. I can't remember who. And that would be your solution. All right, we're almost done for today. Try to do number 4 by yourself. Okay, raise your hand when you get your answer, and I'll see if you got what I got. So this is what I got. I got 213. Who got 213? Okay, so let's look at it. So the first thing I did was I found my x. So I got x equals 2. And then after you figured out that x equals 2, I substituted the 2 back into that top equation. And that's how I got 213. All right, so homework 5 is what I just passed out. Work on questions 1 and 2 from homework 5. So questions 1 and 2, those are the only 2 you can do right now. That's substitution. And if you have any previous homework assignments that you would like credit for, today's the last day to get credit for 1, 2, and 3. You can get 25 out of 50. And I'm still accepting 4, 5, and 6.